It's probably not, but. And right now, we should be live on YouTube, 360 Wrestling Podcasts, the first new episode of 360 Wrestling Fanatic of the new year. Welcome to everyone who is watching on YouTube right now. Already have started the episode on Spreaker. So, like I told everyone that's listening on Spreaker, I hope everyone had a happy and safe New Year. Also, I wish the same for all the YouTube viewers as well. I am Lance Brock. Thank you for tuning in. And before we get started, I have to tell everyone about Zevo Life. Are you looking for a game-changing way to improve your health? Zevo Life is the world's most nutrition-dense whole plant packed with over 50% plant protein, essential amino acids, fiber, and antioxidants. Just 1 teaspoon a day supports your gut, boosts your energy, and promotes healthier skin and hair. Even though I got the beanie on right now, if you're watching the video. No wonder it's receiving rave 5-star reviews. Are you ready to feel the difference? All you have to do is visit zevo.life right now. Use my promo code 360pod at checkout and automatically receive 30% off any product. Right now, start off the new year right, zevo.life, and use my promo code 360pod at checkout and get 30% off. That's 360pod at zevo.life. If I were you, I would want to get 2026 started right, zevo.life. And now let's get into episode 673 of 360 Wrestling Fanatic on January 1st, 2026. I'm glad everyone can join me right now. Hope everyone who is listening or watching right now is having a great day. I got my new IWR Insane Wrestling Revolution beanie on, which I got from this past Saturday's Season's Beatings show. Check out the replay on Triller plus IWR Season's Beatings. Also listen as well. And without any further ado or wasting any more time, let's get right into this episode. Last night, AEW Dynamite, the New Year's Smash episode, live from Omaha, Nebraska, which was on TBS and HBO Max. We kicked off with the new AEW World Champion, MJF Maxwell Jacob Friedman, who will be going one-on-one against Bandito in just a couple weeks on Dynamite. And MJF starts his celebration, I guess you could call it. Then he is interrupted by Hangman Page, by Swerve Strickland. So, kind of already setting up some programs already this year for MJF and his newly won AEW World Championship, which he is now a two-time AEW World Champion. And also, there's been some talk online about that match between MJF and Bandito coming up in just a couple weeks, that MJF could possibly want to try to get his Dynamite diamond ring back. Of course, this is the first time where someone other than MJF won it. I could see that possibly happening where MJF does try to get the ring from Bandito. And also on Dynamite last night, we had the Death Riders, Claudio Castagnoli, Daniel Garcia, and Marina Shafir take on the team of freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy, Roderick Strong, and Timeless Tony Storm. And yes, again, just like at World's End, we got the tango dance between Orange Cassidy and Tony Storm. Good, funny part in the match. Excuse me. But that is not enough to get the win. Death Riders win this one 9 minutes, 37 seconds. And it was a tornado tag, by the way. And speaking of Bandito, he was in action and he got a victory over the Beast Mortos, 9 minutes, 56 seconds. And the other half of the tag team, Brodito, is in action. Brody King defeats Lee Johnson, 52 seconds. And John Moxley is victorious by defeating the Walking Weapon, Josh Alexander, 15 minutes, 33 seconds. The AEW National Championship is on the line. Ricochet defending and defeating Jungle Jack Perry. Good, fun, entertaining match here, though. Like I said, Ricochet retaining the title, 10 minutes, 19 seconds. And New Year's Smash main event time. The AEW TBS Championship on the line. As the TBS champion, the CEO Mercedes Moné defends against one half of the AEW Women's World Tag Team Champions, the Babe with the Power, Willow Nightingale, which, speaking of Willow Nightingale, just 1 second. I got a new piece to my collection I want to show off here. Got this from High Spots, which is an uncut sheet of AEW trading cards and is signed by Willow Nightingale, which you can see right there. If you're watching on YouTube, it really helps because then you can see it right there. I can't get that in the camera, but there, Willow Nightingale. Also Swerve Strickland, Mercedes Moné, Kenny Omega, Will Ospreay, Orange Cassidy, Ricochet, and Timeless Tony Storm. So like I said, if you are watching the live stream or the replay on YouTube, you can see this awesome uncut sheet of AEW trading cards by Upper Deck. I just wanted to show that off real quick. I think that's pretty awesome. And hopefully everyone watching right now as well thinks that's pretty awesome too. Now, got that out of the way. Back to Dynamite. Also, I just want to add, yes, I did order that on High Spots, but what I understand is that was an exclusive that they handed out, gave away, or whatever at all in Texas this year, I understand. My goal is to actually somehow get it signed by everyone on there. Now, that would be pretty awesome right there. Good. I mean, it already is, but that would be a great collector's item. And now back to Dynamite. Willow Nightingale versus Mercedes Moné. Really good main event here to end the year for Dynamite. And it is Willow Nightingale victorious, getting the win over the CEO Mercedes Moné to become the new EWTBS champion. Now we have 2 belts. Willow as now the TBS champion and AEW Women's World Tag Team Champion with Harley Cameron. And I am glad to see that. Big fan of Willow Nightingale. And that was the 2025 New Year's Smash episode of AEW Dynamite. And now I want to tell you about Big Fork Brands. Big Fork Brands bring bold bacon sausage, palo pork jelly, and Chicago-style sauces right to your table. Enjoy rich, smoky flavors made with sustainable ingredients and chef-crafted care. And you can enjoy an exclusive discount with my promo code 360pod at bigforkbrands.com. All you do is use my promo code 360pod and you will get 20% off any product on the website. That's all you gotta do. It's that simple, that easy. bigforkbrands.com. Use my promo code 360pod, 360pod at checkout and get 20% off. Big Fork Brands, delicious sausage and other food sauces. Go there right now. And on this first day of 2026, on this first new episode of 360 Wrestling Fanatic, I just want to take a little bit of a look back. Not gonna look at anything or any notes, just kind of try to remember off the top of my head, if I can, some highlights of the year 2025. And of course, you gotta start off with John Cena, the farewell tour. And of course, this year at Elimination Chamber, we had the heel turn when John Cena turned on Cody Rhodes, joining up with The Rock and that singer, his name was Travis Scott, I think. No, he's not associated with WWE anymore, or The Rock, or I don't think so anyway. I know some people said it was probably too late for a heel Cena. Probably should have happened a long time ago. And I could see the point why they would say that. But I would say at first, when he appeared on Raw, it was the UK. And those first two Raws he was at, the promos he cut, especially Brussels, where that little boy looked like he was about to start crying. And then later in the year, we actually saw the return of that kid when they went back to the UK. And those first two promos I thought were great, in my opinion anyway. I thought Cena, he delivered on the mic, but one of the things that definitely helped with those promos was the crowd, the amount of heat that Cena got was just amazing. I remember I even came home early so I could watch those Raws that started at 3 and 4 p.m. on Netflix. And like I said, the first couple weeks of the Cena heel turn, in my opinion, great. But after that, it wasn't quite so great. And then the rest of the, well, not the rest of the year, but he was heel for a little while. But then, of course, turned him back to babyface, and which was fine in my opinion that they did turn him babyface again. But in my opinion, the babyface turn, it just was out of nowhere. It could have been set up better, to be honest. Could have been more of a build to it, and instead of just boom, he's babyface again. That's it. And then towards the end, Cena defeating Dirty Dominic Mysterio to win the Intercontinental Championship for the first time in his career. And I forgot to mention this year, he was, of course, the unseen 17-time world champion. And then they had a Survivor Series. Cena dropped the IC title back to Dirty Dom, which led to December 13th, Saturday night's main event in Washington, D.C. John Cena versus Gunther. The last time is now. And yes, I have talked about this on the podcast. In my opinion anyway, it went the way it should, which was Gunther getting the win, making John Cena tap out. And I know there was people online saying, oh, that was the wrong decision. You should have had Cena win so the crowd could have gone happy, cheering. But like Triple H said in the post-show, time-honored tradition, when you're on your way out, you do the favor to somebody, help get them over, which, again, right call by WWE here to have Gunther get the win over Cena. What I have, do I agree with the tap out decision? I mean, I don't know. I definitely wasn't upset by it, but I think it would have had the same effect. Maybe if he didn't tap out, but maybe if the arm went up and went down 3 times, had him out, maybe that could have been effective as well. So would have been technically a submission win, just not a tap out. Still, and I know some people have said Gunther didn't really gain from this, but and I mean he still would have been over anyway, still a monster, but this did get him heat. Well, the boos were more directed towards Paul Triple H Levesque, as they call him now, but the next night on Raw, he did get some heat, especially when he came out on the mic and cut that promo and said he did what he said he was going to do and make John Cena tap out like a little bee. But, and not only did he defeat John Cena in his final match, but in another installment of Saturday night's main event earlier in the year, of course, he defeated Bill Goldberg in his final match, which at the time, Saturday night's main event was still airing on both NBC and Peacock. And after the match, Goldberg got on the mic and was going to make a speech about his career and everything, and then was running late. So NBC cut it off. And Goldberg, of course, was not happy about that at all. And I think WWE did eventually post the whole speech to their YouTube channel. And speaking of WWE on YouTube, as of right now, the first of the year, I understand the library, the past pay-per-views, and some of the older WWF, WCW, and ECW content is removed, but it is still available now on the WWE Vault YouTube channel, which I do watch quite a bit. Like I said, WWE Vault, and also they have separate WCW and ECW channels on there so that is mostly where the video libraries are going to be for now on. And let's move over to AEW, which now AEW pay-per-views now available on HBO Max, which is how I watch. And if you are a subscriber to HBO Max, you get it for a little cheaper, $10. $10 cheaper, I mean. It's not $10, it's $40, but $10 cheaper than the regular pay-per-view price, I meant to say. But I'll let you in on a little secret. If you have HBO Max on an Android tablet or an Android phone, you earn Google Play credit, you can save that Google Play credit, save that up, and then use that towards ordering the AEW pay-per-view on that device that you have Google Play. Order it and get it for even a little cheaper. So that's what I've done the last couple AEW pay-per-views. Use that Google Play credit if you have any. That's a secret for you. And speaking of AEW pay-per-view, I know I say this all the time, but AEW pay-per-views, they're always going to be awesome. 2025, of course, was no different. The only complaint that I see from anybody about the AEW pay-per-views is that they're too long. Definitely not the quality of wrestling, the quality of action that you get on those pay-per-views, because they are always great wrestling. It seems like every match on the pay-per-view is at least good or better, which brings me to the biggest AEW pay-per-view of the year, all in Texas, which I showed off that uncut trading card sheet I have signed by Willow Nightingale. Again, if you are watching the video, the live stream of this podcast, you've seen it at the beginning. All in was the first one under the AEW banner, not held in London at Wembley Stadium, but in Texas was just as awesome, in my opinion. Great show, but AEW was in London for Forbidden Door at the O2 Arena, which smaller arena, but still a hot crowd in there. Just even when WWE goes to the UK, they always have loud and wild crowds. And AEW too, it's the same way. And 2025 for wrestling anyway, I would say was pretty good. But this year, it did get a little expensive to be a wrestling fan. Of course, I'm talking about the streaming. WWE switching from Peacock to the ESPN app, which isn't bad, don't get me wrong. On my Roku TV, I haven't had any issues with streams. And yes, I did get the bundle with the ESPN app, Disney Plus, and Hulu, $30 a month. And I did cancel Peacock, but I did get for 1 month only again in December, just for Saturday night's main event to see Cena's last match, of course. And then HBO Max, as I talked about, for AEW, which for me isn't bad because I get it through Cricket Wireless with ads, but it's not costing me any extra, so that's not too bad. And HBO Max, other than very minor issues, excuse me, I will be right back, just a second. Sorry about that, just grabbing the coffee real quick. And I was getting a little thirsty there. Been going for a little bit now. Thank you for your, like I was saying, HBO Max. Other than just you interruptions, that's it. Nothing really. And other than like maybe, I would say at most maybe just freeze or pause just for a second, or maybe it'll go off the app and go to the Roku home screen, but nothing serious, nothing to get too upset about, luckily. And those are for the major promotions here in North America anyway. TNA Plus, which I do subscribe to, I haven't had any issues with, and I think this was the year before though, but not 2025, but the one time there was some streaming issues during one of the TNA Plus specials. As a makeup, they gave you, I think, like 15 or 20% off something, some kind of discount on TNAmerch.com. So that was pretty awesome. And it wasn't even really that bad of a issue. I mean, you missed maybe, I think, I want to say 5 to 10 minutes of it, but other than that, it wasn't really that bad at all. And also Honor Club, which I guess you could say is AEW, which AEW owns Ring of Honor, which I hate to say it, but that is one that I don't want to be mean and say got rid of, but had to cancel. I think, though, for the next pay-per-view, I might get back and just, when there is a Ring of Honor pay-per-view, get it back and then have it for the pay-per-view. And then also NJPW World, which is another one that I had to sacrifice. But I do have it right now because coming up this weekend, Wrestle Kingdom at the Tokyo Dome, featuring the final match of the ace of New Japan Pro Wrestling, Hiroshi Tanahashi, which I do watch New Japan shows, of course, but normally on a delay. But Wrestle Kingdom is definitely the one New Japan show that I do make sure I get up and watch live every year. And this Sunday will be no different. And the streaming wrestling portion of this episode of 360 Wrestling Fanatic. And sorry about that. And take another sip of coffee here. And that's really all I can think of that I wanted to mention. And real quick, before I go, the last episode of 360 Wrestling Fanatic, I talked about the Pro Wrestling Illustrated 100 tag team ratings, which you can go back and listen to that episode, but I just wanted to show, here's the issue. Yeah, Mike Santana and the Hardys, who were ranked number 1. Pro Wrestling Illustrated, this is the new February 2026 issue. Like I talked about on the episode, I'm not sure if you can find it in stores now because it's been quite a while since I actually have seen PWI in any stores. Like I said, I do have a subscription. And right now, that is all that I can think of. I know there's more. Maybe I'll do a part 2, best of 2025, or, well, highlights. Like I said, might talk a little bit more of some things that happened during the year, and maybe even give predictions for 2026. You can Give me your thoughts and your opinions on the year 2025 and your predictions for 2026. Also, your thoughts and your opinions on last night's AEW New Year's Smash Dynamite in the comment section, either right here on Spreaker or wherever you listen to 360 Wrestling Podcasts at. Also, if you're watching the video version, somewhere down below here on YouTube, let me know. Or if you don't want to do that, you could always email me 360wrestlingpodcasts at gmail.com. Or if you want to, you could even follow me on the social media on X at 360 Wrestling Pod and Instagram as well. I will be back tomorrow morning for the Friday episode of 360 Good Morning Wrestling Fans. So I hope everyone who is listening right now will join me there once again. And once again, thank you to everyone for joining me, checking in right here, 360 Wrestling Podcasts during 2025. And I always say this, but I hope to make 2026 the best year there's been for 360 Wrestling Podcasts. Bigger, better than ever. And I hope everyone continues to support 360 Wrestling Podcasts. Speaking of support, if you can, only if you can, the PayPal 360 Wrestling Podcasts at gmail.com. Like I said, you don't have to, but if you can, maybe some support. Also, www.buymeacoffee.com/360 Wrestling Podcasts. Once again, you do not have to at all, but if you can, it would be appreciated very much. I hope everyone has a great rest of your New Year's Day. I hope you all have a great 2026. And until tomorrow morning, for Good Morning Wrestling Fans, God bless you. And I am Lance, and I am a wrestling fanatic.